Something sinister lies beneath the psychology of every character you're looking at. And I'm not talking about Compound V. I'm talking about the 7 deadly sins in The Boys. Lust as a deadly sin is not that deep, but in The Boys, it is this deep.
What the fuck?
It's not what it looks like.
His lust for sex doesn't just end with what he did to Starlight when she first joined the 7, or after he got publicly outed as a predator and quietly moved away from the 7. It extends to the time he's been caught with his pants down, getting familiar with some of the ocean's most wet and slippery animals, more especially the skeleton in his closet, or should I say, the octopus in his closet, Ambrosius. The poor octopus lived to fulfill the deep's weird lustful desires.
There's no way Sage cares about you the way that I do.
Not only does the deep act out his lustful desires through sex, he also does this in the way he lusts for validation. Case in point, the way he dick rides Homelander. He'd die kissing Homelander's ass in seeking validation, so much so that he's willing to do whatever Homelander says, even if it means giving A-Train a nosh in the presence of the 7.
Blow A-Train.
What? Sex is just a spectrum, right, bro?
Get off your fucking knees.
Speaking of A-Train, he depicts the sin of gluttony in a way no other character in The Boys has, because of how he was unable to control the way he overconsumed performance-enhancing and mind-altering drugs, even though it was affecting his speed.
I don't know what this shit is. Oh, you don't? So, you don't mind if I do this?
What the fuck is wrong with you?
So, he lost his speed, the one thing that drove him to overconsumption. Paradoxically, his gluttonous ways begot more gluttony. If we were to cut A-Train some slack and say he needs to eat a whole lot of food to replace the calories he burns while dashing through things, humans, Huey's girlfriend, we'd also have to put into consideration that there are other ways he would do that without letting his appetites betray him. Homelander knows what I'm talking about.
I can see your girdle, you disgusting fat fuck.
Gluttony explains the signs of addiction to a level. It makes you feel if you don't overconsume stuff, you're never going to be okay. And this leads to frustration, disappointment, and in a lot of cases, body dysmorphic disorder. Gluttony is one of the 7 deadly sins. It's not the desire to indulge in food, drink, wealth, drugs, sex, or desires. It is the overuse of them regardless of the harm that it's doing to you, the lack of self-control. That is the thin line between gluttony and greed.
Ashley! Look at me!
Ashley's greed to climb the corporate ladder and being rather willing to screw people over while doing it makes her all the more suitable to exemplify the sin of greed. It is evident in the way she continues to obsess over the media's rating of the soups.
Everyone get the out! Get the out!
When someone is excessively hungry for something, we can call that lust or gluttony. But when that hunger makes you want to step on other people's toes to get what you want, then that's greed in its purest form.
Really, Ashley, for once in your life, be a fucking human being.
Notice how when Madeline Stillwell was still alive, Ashley had been covertly lusting over her position as the senior talent manager at Vought. Her greed only gave way when she was asked to take over after Madeline died. This position meant Ashley would not be wielding as much power as Madeline over the 7. In fact, her nomination was due to Homelander's arbitrary decision, which is to say, she was going to be more or less a pawn in Homelander's hands. But because of greed, she couldn't care less. In spite of this, Ashley's greed drove her to coveting Stan Edgar's position of CEO, a position she finally got because she knew how to kiss Homelander's ass. Greed also played a role in how Ashley believed the only solution to escaping Homelander's purge was to shoot herself up with Compound V. It's sad how that will turn out for her in future episodes, proving that greed is one deadly sin to not be trifled with. Neither is sloth. Let me ask you a question. If you were the second most powerful superhero in the world, what would you do? You're probably thinking of many things you could do, lives you could change, maybe even crimes you could commit, and that's just perfect because in The Boys, the second most powerful member of the 7, Queen Maeve, didn't use her powers for shit, and that's what the sin of sloth does to a person. Queen Maeve was justifiably the spiffing role model for girls all over America, and this meant that a lot was expected of her. But good luck with that because she flopped everyone, even herself.
I'm so sorry!
In a bid to embrace the image that Vought required of the 7, Maeve ironically chose to accept abandoning the truth, even to the detriment of the people that were dear to her. She ended up a cynic shadow of herself instead of the superhero she was expected to be. At some point in the show, she does not do anything to stop the actions of villains, even though she can. Maeve is generally unmotivated, apathetic, and inactive most of the time, our fault for expecting better from a Walmart Wonder Woman. Queen Maeve's personality in seasons 1 through 3 is that of not wanting to help. In season 1, we see the whole thing with Starlight, where Starlight thinks Maeve is a loser who doesn't actually do anything.
You really stood for something. Now, pretty sure that was just written by the marketing guys.
In season 2, Starlight asks her for help against Stormfront and Maeve is reluctant and only shows up at the end. If Maeve just had the balls to do what she needed to do, what was expected of her, this show would have taken a different turn, just like Butcher's life took a different turn when he got consumed by wrath. Billy Butcher is a petty, self-involved, unprincipled C-word who would kill and torture anyone to get what he wants. And what does he want? Wrath, revenge, scorched earth.
Remember what I told you.
Don't be a cunt.
Every scene Butcher appears in, he somehow finds a way to make everyone around him focus on dealing with his unfiltered rage. Rage at all superheroes, and this rage was conceived when he found out that Homelander raped his wife and then took his son. And that's what fuels his wrath.
The fuck are you doing?
Not the kid.
Oh, I thought you said blood didn't matter. I thought that was the whole fucking point.
He's my wife's son.
Wait, Homelander fucked your wife? And you want to save the brat? The hell's wrong with you?
This wrath eventually drives him to plot to eliminate the Seven, even Queen Maeve, who he had a thing with. Butcher's wrathful nature didn't just begin after he declared war on Homelander. We can trace it back to his childhood days, way back to when he beat up the headmaster at his school and the boy who bullied his brother, Lenny. Safe to say, as he matured, so did his wrathful tendencies because his rage is his addiction and he always lets the addiction win.
Holy fuck! That was diabolical!
All Butcher cares about is revenge. He doesn't care who he hurts to get it. The only person he won't let harm come to is Ryan, the same person who Homelander cares about. Looking at this from another perspective, Butcher hated Homelander so much that he became Homelander. Do you think it's a coincidence that Butcher basically got the same powers as Homelander when he took Compound V? His path became doomed the moment he let his hatred of Homelander win out over his love for anyone else, and that's similar to what envy does. Annie January is the embodiment of envy. From a young age, she dreamt of joining the Seven, seeing it as the ultimate achievement for any superhero. This desire was fueled by a mix of admiration and a yearning for recognition. She envied the heroes she watched on TV, longing for their fame and status. Once inside the Seven, Annie quickly realizes that her envy was misplaced. The glamorous facade hid a corrupt and toxic environment, and this realization shifts her envy from wanting to be part of the group to desiring something more profound, the power to change things. Additionally, Starlight's tense moments with Homelander show a different kind of envy. She envies his power and influence, but not for his sake. She wants that strength to make a difference, to stand up for what's right. Not to forget, her dynamic with Huey also reflects envy. She envies his ability to see the world clearly without the superhero gloss. Her envy here is more about wanting that clarity for herself. And as the series progresses, so does Annie's envy evolve. It starts as a simple desire to be part of the Seven and grows into a more complex drive to reshape the superhero world.
And I'm not going anywhere.
Her envy is no longer just about personal gain. It's about using her position to challenge and change the corrupt system orchestrated by Homelander. Pride personified.
I don't make mistakes. I'm not just like the rest of you. I'm stronger. I'm smarter. I'm better.
Homelander's pride comes from his unmatched power. As the leader of the Seven, he sees himself as superior to everyone around him.
I am the Homelander.
This inflated sense of self-worth drives his actions and decisions, often with terrifying consequences. Homelander's public appearances are dripping with pride. He lives off adoration, believing he deserves every ounce of worship from the public. This pride fuels his need to maintain a flawless image regardless of the reality. Notice the condescending attitude he uses on other members of the Seven.
Do you think you know better than me? I don't know, maybe you think you should be sitting in my chair and I should be sitting all the way down there in yours.
He even sees himself as the ultimate authority, dismissing others' opinions and abilities. This arrogance often leads to tension and conflict within the group. Despite Stan Edgar's power over Vought, Homelander's pride makes him chafe under any control. He struggles with the idea that anyone could be above him, showcasing his intense need to be the ultimate authority.
Hey, Deep,
What?
eat fucking Timothy. Wasn't that delicious?
Homelander's pride is also his greatest weakness. His inability to accept criticism or vulnerability makes him increasingly unstable. This unchecked pride leads to reckless decisions as he believes he is untouchable. Throughout the series, Homelander's pride grows more dangerous. As challenges arise, his need to assert dominance and control intensifies. This relentless pride blinds him to the consequences of his actions, leading to catastrophic outcomes, as we will see in the following seasons to come. But you know what rocks my mind the most about this show? The fact that the good guys aren't all that good and the bad guys aren't all that bad. We have extremes on both ends of the spectrum, but there are those that are towards the middle. It makes you really wonder, is any character worthy of emulating any of the 7 heavenly virtues? See you around.